again from the team here at the Yugachua Art Chronicles podcast, discovering the life and work of Paul Yugachua. Today we continue our discussion about the dramatic mural at Expo 86, covering the more technical and artistic challenges involved, as well as the media attention that it garnered.
We had Horst-Anders who invited us down to this restaurant, Italian restaurant.
Okay.
He said, I'd like you to meet somebody, a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Joanne, you know
So,
the story.
well, he
better than
phones
me,
up
probably.
and he says, hey, it's my 50th birthday. Why don't you come down to Le Magasin down in Gastown? So anyways, we said, oh, sure. And, we want to hear all about your mural because at that point, I believe he'd already finished, right? I heard all about it from people and all this stuff. This is before Expo opened. And so we go down to Le Magasin and I won't go on long, but Le Magasin, the owner, Luigi, he was previously an opera singer. Janulus was good friends who
They're all
we used to go down there before where the two of them would belt out opera songs and the kids would be entertained with all these languages again and everything. So we're down there for a nice lunch and we have good wine and dining and grappa afterwards, just like in Italy. And then Horst says, hey, my
German friend from
Berlin.
from childhood was in Vancouver, and he, on Expo site, he has a Bavarian restaurant, and he's also in partnership. He's in partnership with the native
First Nations.
native First Nations,
Ah.
who have a restaurant and an art gallery.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, we'd like you to meet the chief, down at the site. So we
This
first
is
bumped
in
into
Vancouver,
this other
right?
friend of Horst.
Yeah,
This
this
in
is Vancouver. I don't
So
know if
we
you
met
missed
his
out,
friend
though.
who has a beautiful, beautiful whole level of floor in this building with old masks and native masks everywhere. And he says, I'd like you to meet this chief. Come down to the site and we'll meet him.
No, but sorry to interrupt, but it wasn't the site. It
Oh,
was,
it was at the restaurant
Yeah,
again.
come
Yeah.
back to Le
That's
Magasin
right.
in 2 days'
In
time.
2 days' time.
And there's about a dozen of them, the chief, his wife, and several from the band.
Yeah.
And
And so then he says, well, we have this art gallery and we'd like to have your work in it. And I said, okay, that sounds great. This is doubling up. I'm in Expo already and I'll be in Expo again with a gallery. And so what's really amazing
this is
that
crazy.
this gallery that he's got is the 700 square foot that we originally were going to get. It's completely
can
bizarre.
you believe it? Like, we
So
just
now-
can't believe it.
And not only that, we're in there with all my work for free this time. We didn't have to pay $13,000 or anything.
And I keep saying this is full circle
Full
back to
circle.
the natives. The
completely
700 square foot space, the original space that we were offered in 83, right, where we were asked
Yeah.
to form the
Yeah.
artisan group.
Yeah.
Like, how is this possible? And
Bizarre.
they also said, we'd like, Paul's originals, and also, could you do a reproduction of Chief Dan George and
and
postcards?
prints and everything,
And
so
we
sure.
we talked to Leonard, and we gave the original to Leonard, and all reproduction rights we always give to the natives if they
Yeah.
want to do it after it's theirs, right? And then we said, well, we could do the Northwest Heritage, so we also
Do the same
reproduced
again.
that.
Posters, postcards,
And Haida poster.
limited editions, yeah.
And all those,
And my originals were in the gallery as well. So
and even the small Chief Dan George cards, we had to have all these with the envelope, the cellophane bag, which you send out. Somebody in Vancouver do all the packaging and things.
And not
right?
only that, these girls who were running his gallery, every time a client came in, they would say, "Oh, this artist did the mural on the United Nations Pavilion."
It was just.
So it's like people would say, "Oh my gosh! Oh really? Oh gosh!" And so they, it's like another. And by the way, at the same time, I was still going to the park at weekends,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
and I was selling my originals to people who remembered my mural as well. So it was like I was
well,
covered in about 3 or 4 different areas.
But then also we had, big businesses. You had a few commissions.
I did murals for
and
big
they said,
businesses.
"Hey, just do us the 5 faces, or do the natives for us."
So I had commissions coming out of my yin.
Well, it was, of course, excellent, and
It's amazing. It's just like, as you said before. I think I heard you just about to say before. If you believe in destiny, it's unbelievably.
Yes.
It's difficult to see anything else because it's just amazing, isn't it?
Put the word out there. Sure. Well, as soon as I said free, I'll do it for free.
Yeah, I think isn't that something?
To change the whole. If they'd have had to pay for that mural, mind you, they gave me a $30,000 tax deductible note.
Well, that as well.
You know what I mean?
That
yeah.
just
I didn't
helps.
ask for that. They offered it to me.
But
Because I did it
doesn't
for free. They
mean-
were so generous.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
They have
if
to
I'd
do
have
that.
wanted 30,000 to do the mural, there's no way on earth
Yeah.
anybody would have got a job. I met the head guy from the art department of Expo, and I asked him, how come there's not more art on the site? More art, more murals, more art. You know what he said to me? Oh, we couldn't trust artists to do the job properly.
Well,
You know what I mean?
The thing
So
is,
when you're dealing with people like that, it's no wonder that you end up with no art anywhere.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. There's enough top professionals that obviously
Of
that's a
course
stupid
there are.
thing to say.
I could have found him about 5 artists who would do anything, and for free as well, to be on the site.
Yeah. The point that what happened there is sort of what your efforts were sort of squared and then cubed, and it snowballed, and because of
and then back to zero, and then suddenly. Yeah.
Well, no, but it's true that the old speculate to accumulate, doing something for free, that gets frowned on as well. Doing stuff for free by some people, but you're right. It's you must have seen it probably as a way. We've got to keep moving forward and see what happens, and not.
Well,
and you're a very positive couple.
I was determined.
And Paul
to get on the site.
he just wanted to get on Expo site because whatever we did on Expo site would be publicity for us. It wouldn't matter. So even if he donated 10 days, of course, people would see his work.
It's a chance of a lifetime. It's the one time. It's never going to be again, right? They're not going to have another Expo here. So.
But the Expo, what was amazing, our World Expo was on transportation and communication.
Yeah.
And we did have that other project, remember, the communicator, but I didn't have enough time to devote any more time to that. But they figured they were going to get $13.5 million. We were the most successful expo in the world at that time.
22 million people visited.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nearly the population of Canada. They had one day.
Well, no, Paul. Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
And then
because it's
in one day
35
they had,
million.
how many did they get in one day?
Yeah, in one day they got over 300,000.
300,000.
Which was 80% of our
That's
population
80% of the population
in downtown
of the town.
Vancouver.
Vancouver. So it was just amazing, The town was live everywhere you
actually,
went. Nightclubs, bars.
Well, the locals.
Oh, it's just unbelievable, the town,
The
locals. Never had
locals.
so much fun in my life here.
The locals did complain a lot because there was no
there's-
parking.
There was no parking
Everything.
anywhere for anybody.
Yeah, they were then
But,
saying,
hey, you know what? Everybody made money.
But also the Chief Bob Hall, his wife wanted to do a surprise gift, so we were invited after hours, like after 10 Expo closes. Expo was 10 to 10, right? So that birthday party was pretty special because it was...
a big painting of him.
You did his
portrait,
father, Chief Hall.
That's right.
And this was in honor of his father. And then the Muskian sisters, who also became chiefs.
And I nearly got...
Yeah.
A big mural
You did their dad
at
as well.
Vancouver Airport.
Yeah.
My God, they wanted me to do this.
The girls.
These large faces, 20 feet by 20 feet probably, going right next to their tapestries at the airport, hanging in the airport.
Wow.
And they wanted me to do it, and so I said, no problem, I'll do it. But they had to put it through the committee, the Native Committee, band committee of the chiefs. And they wanted me, but there was a few guys who said, no, he's not native.
Yeah.
There's 5 on the committee.
Yeah, three
men.
against 2. Three men.
Yeah, we understand.
I understand, sure. They
But-
wanted it to be totally native, the whole concept.
But you know, the sisters, they saw beyond that. They saw these
Well,
extraordinary.
there was no native who was going to do the work like I was going to do.
That's
So-
true.
But it's
Yeah.
not just their sculpture and their tapestries, which are absolutely amazing,
yeah.
but to actually have a face to the native people, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what they saw. And, people would never forget that either, so it was a nice and an interesting idea. But anyways, you did
Yeah.
you did
Yeah,
their
I
dad,
did their dad.
another chief.
The other thing was when the expo was over, we didn't know what was going to happen, but we actually found out that what was it, Joanne?
Yeah. Well, first of all, before the expo finished, we got people calling up asking
wanting the mural. What's going to happen to the mural?
We had the border.
Peace Arch, the border wanted it to be put on a warehouse, their big building.
But that was the border of U.S. and Canada. If the Peace Arch, that would be just
Right, the
unbelievable.
Peace Arch would be
And we had
fantastic.
religious groups, we
Oh,
had
that's
businesses, and it was Expo's property. All I could do was send them back to Expo.
Yeah.
So we didn't really pay all that much attention. We couldn't do anything. And it was, once we'd left, because we left 2 weeks after Expo, where the plan was to be in Quebec, right? And my father phones up
A
and
newspaper
says,
cutting,
Yeah.
and evidently the governor of a province in Seville wanted the mural
yeah.
for Canada,
Well, the
Canada Pavilion.
So it was the president of Andalusia.
President.
Wow.
Yeah, and Lopez. This was just so unbelievable again. And we had Grace McCarthy. She's one of our politicians, BC. And here they were up
Photographed next to the big mural that was going to be pulled apart and shipped there for free.
in 6 years' time, Seville, World Expo 92, it could be reconstructed because it was in panels.
Wow.
And it was the Seville Expo, and it was going to be the Canadian Pavilion. And everything had been okayed. You couldn't believe it. We even got a letter from
The letter
him.
came from him asking if I could come to
Yeah.
retouch it all up when it was put up and everything.
And we said, and
No
we've got the
problem,
baths
great,
in there.
yeah.
And I could do more because I had all
we
the
were going to
rights.
do reproductions again.
Yeah, because I had the rights. I could do all that
Would
even
have
more.
been a gift.
And then, could you believe it? He didn't get
Elections, he didn't get in, and the next guy in didn't want
no.
to follow any of his things.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you believe it?
in. Now,
Well, you can't
We
have
had-
all
we
the
ended
luck.
up going
You can't
to
have all the luck,
Seville.
you two.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
We went there with the kids.
Yeah, we
went
did
to
go.
Seville,
Yeah.
saw the pavilion that it would have been on.
Oh, yes.
It would have been enormous. It would have been fantastic.
Oh, yeah. We did have a lot of luck, so it ended there. And now
That
we
was
do not
just-
know where the mural is.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
where the
let's.
mural is now.
So I'd like to go back because we haven't actually talked about the physical production of said mural at all yet. So I think we need to go there because it's massive. We've talked before about Chemainus, and we've talked about the fact that it was on scaffolding and you didn't have a cherry picker. And it was a different size, and that was in one plane. And now you've got something which is similar, but sort of twice as big, and a different challenge, but similar in lots of ways. But I've seen a lot of pictures on the blog of you, sometimes on a cherry picker, and sometimes probably slightly dodgily perching on an entrance canopy,
Standing on the alcove.
which
yeah.
is not quite,
The entrance,
wouldn't pass health and safety
that-
recommendations these days, but
the
So why don't you tell us a bit about how you went around creating it this time?
Well, the platform, of course, the elevated platform was the gift. That was fantastic. It made everything easier because I could beam up, drive it around wherever I wanted to take it. So I did this pretty much the same as I did with the Chemainus mural. I went and drew the first part of the chief's eye, his face, part of it, and then I'd literally go away, 200 yards away, and look at it and see that it was positioned in the right place, and then I basically carried on that way with drawing. I drew the whole thing out first. Every face. Once I had one face done, the next face went straight next to it at a slightly different angle, so that every face was basically looking outwards from the center. So they were like the wings of the main two characters. And that way I was able to draw it all out, the detail, before I started with any painting at all. And we got all the paint donated from General Paints,
Ah.
and they had their name on the pavilion because of it.